Break the barrier within. The real limits aren't in your body. They're in your mind. The body stops when the mind quits. The mind is the gatekeeper that decides how far you go, how much you endure, and what version of yourself you meet at the end of pain. Every single person walking this planet carries a wall inside their head, a wall built from fear, weakness, comfort, and excuses. That wall tells you where to stop. It tells you when it's too hard, too painful, too late, too impossible. But here's the truth. That wall isn't real. It's a lie your mind tells to protect you from the unknown. Your mind loves safety. It loves comfort. It loves control. But growth doesn't exist in safety. Transformation doesn't happen in comfort. And mastery doesn't come from control. It comes from chaos, from uncertainty, from going to war with the voice that tells you to quit. When you feel like you've reached your limit, you're usually only 40% done. That's the mind's survival mechanism kicking in. The voice of weakness pretending to be logic. It tells you that you're done, but your body still has miles left. Your spirit still has fight left. You've got to learn to break that barrier. You've got to learn to override the signal that says stop. Because if you don't, you'll live your entire life inside a cage made of invisible walls. You'll keep convincing yourself that you've done enough, when deep down, you know you barely scratched the surface of who you could have been. Breaking the barrier within isn't about being fearless. It's about facing fear and walking straight through it. It's about recognizing that pain is not a stop sign. It's a direction marker pointing toward your next level. You've got to rewire your mind to see struggle as progress, not punishment. Every drop of sweat, every ounce of discomfort, every moment where you think I can't. That's the exact place where your real power starts to show. Because when your mind screams to stop and you keep moving anyway, that's when you find out what you're made of. Most people never find that version of themselves. They never meet the part of them that can take the hit, keep standing, and still move forward. They stop before they even see it. They quit right before they transform. The mind quits first. Always. The body follows its orders. But you flip the script. If you teach your mind to obey your purpose instead of your feelings, everything changes. Suddenly, pain doesn't scare you anymore. Fatigue doesn't slow you down. Doubt doesn't control you. Because you've trained yourself to keep moving regardless of how you feel. There's a moment when you're in the grind, when your lungs are burning, your muscles are shaking, your energy is gone, and your mind starts to whisper, "Why are you doing this?" That's the wall talking. That's the mental barrier begging for mercy. But that's the exact moment you need to push harder. That's the moment that separates the people who wish from the people who win. If you break that barrier once, you'll never be the same again, because you'll realize that every single limit you ever believed in was self-imposed. The truth is, your body is capable of far more than you can imagine. Your endurance, your strength, your willpower, they're all buried under layers of mental weakness and comfort-seeking habits. The only way to access them is by confronting the voice that says enough. That voice will always exist. It doesn't disappear. But you can train yourself to overpower it, to silence it with action. You can choose to keep moving when it demands you stop. You can choose to fight when it tells you to rest. That's how you break the barrier within. You don't wait for courage. You don't wait for motivation. You move because the mission demands it. You move because you refuse to be owned by your limitations. You move because deep down, you know the limit isn't real. Pain is the entry fee. Growth demands suffering. If it doesn't hurt, it doesn't change you. Pain is the toll you pay to cross from who you are to who you're meant to become. It's the currency of transformation. Everyone wants to grow. Everyone wants to improve. Everyone wants to be great, but nobody wants to suffer for it. Nobody wants to pay the fee. They want success on discount, greatness without sacrifice, discipline without discomfort. But the truth is, the price never changes. Pain is always the cost. Every ounce of strength, every shred of resilience, every piece of character is built through struggle. You can't fake it. You can't skip it. You can't cheat the process. Pain is the entry fee. And if you're not willing to pay it, you'll never cross the line. People look at pain like it's the enemy. They treat it like something to avoid, something to numb, something to run from. But pain is not punishment. It's the teacher. It's the mirror that shows you what you really are. It strips away the lies, the excuses, the comfort. It shows you who's real and who's pretending. When you're in pain, when your body is breaking down, when your mind is screaming for relief, that's when your truth surfaces. That's when you find out if you have the heart to keep going. Pain introduces you to yourself. It exposes your weakness, but it also reveals your strength. It burns away the parts of you that don't belong, the laziness, the doubt, the fear, until only the raw version remains. You want to evolve? Then stop running from the burn. Stop expecting change to feel good. Growth doesn't come with comfort. It's ugly. It's exhausting. It's filled with moments where you question everything. Your worth, your ability, your sanity. But that's the process. Every rep you push when your muscles are screaming. Every mile you run when your lungs feel like fire. Every morning you get up when your body begs for sleep. That's not suffering for no reason. That's the entry fee. That's you proving you're willing to bleed for your future. The world is full of people who want results, but aren't ready for pain. They talk about wanting success, but the moment discomfort hits, they fold. They search for hacks, shortcuts, easy paths, but there are none. Every great achievement in human history was forged through pain. The athlete who dominates the field, the warrior who conquers his fear, the creator who changes the world. Every one of them has walked through fire. Pain is what separates the average from the elite, the talkers from the doers, the dreamers from the executors. Pain has a purpose. It's not random. It's not cruelty. It's a signal that you're expanding. When you stretch your limits, your mind and body resist. That resistance is pain. It's the proof that change is happening. You don't grow in the moments of comfort. You grow in the moments you want to stop, but don't. The body learns. The mind adapts. The spirit strengthens. Every time you choose to endure, you rewrite your limits. Every time you lean into pain, you earn a piece of yourself that you didn't know existed. Pain builds a different kind of power, the kind that can't be taught, can't be given, can't be faked. It builds grit. It builds hunger. It builds humility. It reminds you that nothing is free and everything worth having demands a cost. Most people will never reach their potential because they spend their lives avoiding that cost. They chase comfort, and comfort kills growth. But those who understand the game, the ones who embrace the grind, the struggle, the endless fight, they learn to respect pain. They stop fearing it. They use it because pain is the proof of effort, the confirmation of purpose, the sign that you're alive and fighting for something that matters. When it hurts, that's when you're alive. When it burns, that's when you're transforming. Pain isn't the signal to stop. It's the invitation to go deeper. It's the voice saying, you're entering new territory. The more it hurts, the more you're breaking through. You can't hide from it. You can't escape it. The only way is through. You push, you bleed, you fight, you endure, because pain is the entry fee to greatness. And every second you resist it, you delay who you're destined to become. Destroy the comfort zone. Comfort is the slowest form of death. It kills potential before it kills the body. The comfort zone is a silent trap, disguised as peace, disguised as stability, disguised as happiness. It's where dreams go to rot, where ambition gets buried alive under excuses. Comfort tells you that you're safe, that you've done enough, that you can relax now. It whispers that you deserve rest, that you've earned a break, that you can slow down. But comfort is not your friend. It's the enemy of greatness. It doesn't come to help you. It comes to weaken you. The moment you make peace with comfort, you surrender your edge. You stop fighting. You stop growing. You stop evolving. And once you stop evolving, you start dying, slowly, quietly, without even realizing it. People chase comfort because it feels good. It gives them the illusion of control, the illusion of success. But comfort is deceptive. It numbs your hunger. It dulls your instincts, and it steals your fire. You don't notice it at first. It creeps in slowly. One skipped workout turns into a week. One lazy morning turns into a habit. One excuse becomes a pattern. Before you know it, the person who used to chase goals with fire in their eyes becomes someone who just gets through the day. That's how comfort wins. Not through sudden defeat, but through quiet surrender. It doesn't destroy you overnight, it dissolves you from within. Every time you choose comfort, you trade progress for pleasure. You trade growth for ease. You trade potential for momentary relief. The comfort zone is not just a place, it's a mindset. It's the voice that says you've done enough when you know you haven't. It's the feeling that says, stay here. It's safe when you know you're supposed to move. And every time you listen to it, it takes something from you. A piece of your discipline, a piece of your drive, a piece of your purpose. Soon you're not living anymore, you're existing. You wake up, you move, you eat, you scroll, you sleep. Days blur together. Time passes, but nothing changes. That's the death comfort brings. Not sudden, but steady, and most people never even notice it happening. To destroy the comfort zone, you have to go against everything that feels easy. You have to become addicted to challenge. You have to seek discomfort deliberately, to throw yourself into situations that test your limits. Because the truth is, the harder path is the only one that leads to strength. Pain sharpens the mind. Pressure builds resilience. Discomfort breeds confidence. Every time you step outside what's familiar, you level up. The more uncomfortable you become, the more alive you feel. Because discomfort is where life actually begins. The comfort zone tells you to stop when you're tired, but the grind teaches you to keep going until you're done. It's in the moments you want to quit that your real self shows up. When your mind is screaming to stop and you keep moving anyway, that's when you build something unbreakable. Every time you choose the harder option, waking up early, doing one more rep, studying when you did rather rest, you're not just building discipline, you're killing the comfort inside you. You're teaching your body and your mind that growth matters more than ease. Destroying the comfort zone isn't about being reckless. It's about refusing to be controlled by fear. Comfort makes you afraid of change. It makes you doubt your ability to survive the unknown. It convinces you that safety is happiness, when in truth, safety is stagnation. The more you chase comfort, the smaller your world becomes. You stop taking risks, you stop exploring, you stop testing your strength. Life becomes predictable, controlled, lifeless. But when you destroy that cage, when you step into discomfort, you rediscover what it means to live with purpose. Comfort will always call you back. It never stops. It will lure you with ease, tempt you with pleasure, and try to convince you that effort isn't worth it. But you've got to fight that voice every single day. You've got to keep putting yourself in uncomfortable positions, not because you like pain, but because you crave growth. The human body and mind are designed to adapt, to overcome, to expand, but they only do that under pressure. Without struggle, they decay. Without challenge, they weaken. Comfort isn't peace, it's paralysis. The longer you stay in it, the more it drains your spirit, your hunger, your identity. The only way to live at full potential is to destroy the comfort zone completely, to burn it down, and to never let it rebuild around you again. Relentless over resilient. Resilience means you bounce back. Relentless means you never stop, even when broken. There's a difference between those who recover and those who refuse to fall in the first place. Resilience is strength in recovery, but relentlessness is strength in motion. Being resilient means you can take a hit and return to the fight. Being relentless means you never leave the fight, no matter how many times you're hit. It's the mindset that refuses to accept defeat, that doesn't wait to heal before continuing, that doesn't need motivation to move. Relentless is not about bouncing back. It's about pushing forward while bleeding, while exhausted, while shattered. It's the raw, unfiltered drive to keep moving, even when every logical part of you says stop. Most people think being resilient is enough, but resilience still gives you room to pause. It still allows you to step back, to recover, to rest. Relentless doesn't. Relentless doesn't care about how you feel, what you've lost, or how broken you are. It only knows one direction, forward. You can be tired, hurt, and full of doubt, but the relentless mindset keeps you in the fight. It keeps your hands moving when your arms are shaking, your feet driving when your legs are numb, your focus locked when your mind is screaming for relief. That's the difference between those who survive and those who conquer. Resilient people come back stronger. Relentless people never leave the battlefield. The relentless mindset is born in pain, forged in failure, and hardened through repetition. It's built in those moments when life hits you harder than you thought possible. And instead of asking, why me, you whisper, try me. It's built when you keep showing up, not because it's easy, but because quitting isn't even an option. When you're relentless, you stop negotiating with pain. You stop seeking balance. You stop waiting for the right time. You just move. You adapt, you fight, you adjust, but you never stop. That's what separates those who make history from those who fade into it. Being relentless means you don't measure progress by comfort. You measure it by persistence. You measure it by how long you can keep going after the feeling of motivation has died. Motivation burns out fast. Discipline gets you further. But relentlessness, that's where you enter a different world. That's when your will becomes your fuel. When everything in your body is screaming that it's over, but your spirit keeps dragging you forward, that's relentlessness. It's not clean, it's not pretty, it's not perfect, but it's unstoppable. People romanticize resilience because it sounds noble, it sounds human. But relentlessness isn't romantic. It's savage, it's primal, it's built on obsession, hunger, and the refusal to surrender. It doesn't celebrate small wins, it chases the impossible. It doesn't stop to admire progress, it keeps building. Resilient people wait for the storm to pass. Relentless people walk straight through it. They don't care how bad it gets. They don't care what it costs. They care only about the mission, the goal, the next step forward. When you become relentless, you stop being controlled by emotion. You stop needing validation. You stop caring about how far you've come because the only thing that matters is how much further you can go. You start to crave the grind, the exhaustion, the struggle, because you know those are the places where strength is born. Every time you push through pain, every time you show up broken, every time you act without energy or hope, you're proving to yourself that you can't be stopped. That's what relentless means. It's not just physical toughness, it's mental warfare. It's a decision to keep fighting when logic says there's nothing left to fight with. Relentlessness doesn't care about setbacks. It doesn't care about failure. It doesn't even care about winning. It only cares about the process, the act of moving forward, regardless of outcome. It's the state of mind that doesn't look for finish lines because it knows the mission never ends. The body breaks, the mind tires, the heart bleeds, but the will stays alive. The relentless don't wait for perfect conditions. They create them through effort. They don't stop when they're tired. They stop when they've emptied everything inside them. They move like machines fueled by purpose, emotionless in pain, but alive in pursuit. Relentlessness is the purest form of discipline, the ability to keep going when nothing remains but the decision to do so. Evolve beyond excuses. Excuses are the chains that lock you inside your old self. Smash them or stay trapped forever. Every excuse you tell yourself is a lie designed to protect your comfort. It's a defense mechanism that keeps you safe from failure, but it also keeps you small. Excuses are the invisible walls you build around your own potential, convincing yourself that your limits are real when they're not. They sound logical, they sound reasonable, but they're poison. They kill ambition quietly. They whisper that you'll start tomorrow, that it's not the right time, that you're too tired, too busy, too broken, too late. But deep down, you know it's not about time, energy, or circumstance. It's about will. Excuses are the language of fear, and fear is the anchor that keeps you from evolving into who you're supposed to become. The moment you justify your weakness, you surrender your power. Every excuse you accept becomes another layer of armor protecting your comfort zone. You start to believe the story you tell yourself, that life is unfair, that the world is against you, that things are harder for you than they are for others. But the truth is, the difference between those who grow and those who stay stuck is simple. The ones who evolve stop negotiating with excuses. They stop believing their own lies. They stop letting their feelings dictate their actions. Growth demands honesty, brutal honesty, and that honesty starts with calling yourself out on every excuse that holds you back. Excuses are clever because they always sound valid. They come disguised as logic, as practicality, as self-care. They make you feel justified in doing less. but what they really do is make you soft. They make you comfortable with mediocrity. They let you stay the same while pretending you're trying. You tell yourself you'll start when things are better, when life slows down, when you feel ready, but that moment never comes. There's no perfect time to change. There's only now, and every time you push it off, the chains around you tighten. The more you feed excuses, the stronger they become. The longer you entertain them, the weaker your will grows. To evolve beyond excuses, you have to break the habit of surrender. You have to stop giving yourself an easy way out. Discipline is born when you remove the option to quit. You don't give yourself permission to stop because you're tired or stressed or unmotivated. You keep going because the mission doesn't care about how you feel. The world rewards those who act in spite of emotion, not because of it. Excuses are emotional decisions disguised as logic. To rise beyond them, you must lead with purpose, not comfort. You have to remind yourself that nobody is coming to save you. Nobody is coming to pull you out of the hole. You built it, and only you can climb out. Evolution doesn't happen when life gets easier. It happens when you get stronger. And you don't get stronger by avoiding challenges. You get stronger by facing them without a safety net. Every time you kill an excuse, you unlock a new version of yourself. The version that doesn't need validation. The version that doesn't wait for the right conditions. The version that acts no matter how uncertain or unprepared it feels. That's the difference between those who evolve and those who stay stuck. Evolution is painful because it demands responsibility. It demands that you look in the mirror and admit that the only thing holding you back is you. Excuses are chains, and the longer you wear them, the more natural they feel. You start mistaking captivity for comfort. You start mistaking stagnation for peace. You start calling failure rest. That's what excuses do. They convince you that your current version is enough, even when you know deep down it's not. To evolve beyond them, you must develop an intolerance for your own weakness. You must despise the feeling of wasted potential so deeply that you'd rather suffer through effort than live with regret. Because every excuse you kill becomes proof that you're changing. Every excuse you destroy becomes a step toward freedom. The evolution begins the moment you stop explaining your limits and start breaking them.